Hello, my name is Zach Wong, and today I'm going to be presenting my English Project 4 presentation. So to start off, I really enjoyed this prompt. There are so many options towards this assignment because having meaning to something is really subjective. For me, the topics of the Project 1 and values and the Project 2 differing opinions were much more interesting and impactful than the other content that we discussed in the class. And so I wanted to connect my values with something that was meaningful to my life in the past year. And one thing that was meaningful to my life was making friends in college. The transition from high school to college is already hard enough by having to take care of yourself. Because once you're in college, you kind of realize that you gotta do everything on your own. For example, you gotta get your own food, you have to do your own laundry, you have to remind yourself to study, etc., and so much more. With already so much responsibility and stress being put on a college student, it's hard to focus on social life. The balancing of social life, academics, and personal responsibilities was really challenging for me, but it also taught me a lot of valuable lessons. So today I'm going to be discussing one of the most important things to me that has happened in the past year, which is making friends in college and the experiences that I've learned from it. One thing that every college student had to face this year was handling social life with coronavirus. The coronavirus definitely had an impact on everyone this year, and it was especially impactful to my social experience. For me, there are two different types of people that handled coronavirus. There's one, the people who isolated themselves and only went out if necessary for food and other necessities. And there's two, the people who didn't act like coronavirus was real and went out and partied every weekend and didn't care about the coronavirus. I believe that there are advantages and drawbacks to both sides, because if you're option one, you'd be at low risk of infecting others or yourself with coronavirus. However, it would be hard to make friends, but if you're option two, you would be contributing to the spread of coronavirus. But you would have a greater chance of making new friends and meeting new people. I value human lives and safety, so for me, I wanted to social distance for as much as possible. I also care about myself and well-being, and knowing that I have asthma, if I got coronavirus, I would have strong symptoms, and this would affect my mental health and my academic life. I also value connections and friendships, and I wanted to have a social life and meet people too. So thus, for me, I kind of wanted to stay in the middle ground, or at least between the two options. Unfortunately, at the start of the semester, the friends that I met by joining a fraternity all had the same values as the second option. I really liked my friends that I had that I had made in my fraternity because we had the same humor and the same interests. However, I soon began to drift apart from them as our values didn't align. While some of my friends went out to go to the bars and tailgates, I stuck behind and spent the nights alone because I was afraid of the coronavirus. This whole situation was really strange to me and kind of made me uncomfortable to me because although I really liked spending time with these people, I was unable to see them consistently based off my differing views. Later, I met another group of friends in my dorm. I'll refer to them as my dorm friends. I met these friends in my dining hall and we got along quickly because we all seemed to struggle with making friends with the coronavirus. Not only did we share a common struggle, but we also shared the same values. All of us were opposed to going to parties or the bars because we didn't want to be infected with the coronavirus or even get it. We also shared the same political views and quite often talked about recent politics. However, as I started to spend more time with them, I realized that that was all we talked about. I started to not enjoy the time with them as much as I used to, and I realized that none of us really had anything common. I began to miss the humor and time I was spending with my friends that I met in my fraternity at this time. It was around midway through the semester where I struggled the most socially. I wasn't having the greatest time with my dorm friends, and I wasn't able to really hang out with my fraternity friends. So what did I end up choosing? Not really, neither or both. At this time, I kind of started to hang out with myself and work on myself. I was more going to the gym and focusing on school. I did start to hang out less with my dorm friends, and then I did getting closer with my fraternity friends because we all shared the same video game and we played that virtually. But this whole situation made me kind of question who I make friends with and what do I look for in a friend. Because I actually learned in my communications class this year, but apparently men tend to build relationships off of common interests, while women tend to build relationships off of moral support. So when I heard about this, I was like, oh, damn, that kind of makes sense on why I made this whole decision and everything. I guess like the whole important lesson that I learned from this is that values can't really make friendships, however, they can affect them. Just because all my friends did share the same values of safety, academics, communication, religion, etc., doesn't necessarily mean we get along. But on the other hand, if I value academics and my other friend doesn't, it could lead to issues and arguments like, hey, why aren't you studying and all you do is drink all night? Why are you doing this and this? But in conclusion, my college experience and the social struggles that I had to face was the most meaningful thing that happened to me in the past years. And thanks to this class, it made me question the values of myself and the decisions that I make. Thank you and happy holidays.